It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, Sunday, July 10, 2022, and I'm just about ready to take Sequester out for an overnight. We're going to be just heading out, sailing around the Great Harbor, and then come back, pick up our mooring, and spend the night out there. So, once we get underway, I'll start recording again. Okay, we're underway now, just about over to the Cranberry Islands. There's Great Cranberry, and there's Sutton. It was blowing pretty hard and was fairly choppy when we came out the entrance to Southwest Harbor. Probably 1.5 to 2 foot seas and blowing 20 plus. I don't know if you can see them, but there's still a few whitecaps. And you can probably hear the wind. So we're sailing in behind Great Cranberry, which will put us in the lee. Sailing here in the Great Harbor, it's not unusual to have very strong winds right at the entrance to Southwest Harbor, and then wind speed drops off dramatically once you get half a mile outside Southwest Harbor. There's Mount Desert Island over there, the main part of it, the big hills. And we're headed over toward Little Cranberry Island. Well, now that we're definitely in the lee of Great Cranberry, things have calmed down a lot. Not heeled as much, and it's not as choppy. Incipient whitecaps, and boat speed has dropped from around 6 knots to 5 knots or so on average. So it's quite a change. When we were in the heavier winds, I put 4 turns on the Genoa to depower us a little bit. Sort of typical sailing day out here. Come out of the harbor, lots of wind, get out here 1.5 miles or 2 miles, and not so much. We looked at the offshore conditions, and a couple of hours ago it was blowing 0, gusting to 4 at Mount Desert Rock, which is about 20 miles southeast of here. So pretty flat out on the Gulf of Maine, and a bit more wind in here. I suspect that most of this is sea breeze, because on a nice sunny warm day the islands make their own wind with rising thermals. Now it's getting to be the time of year when there's a little bit of lobster gear in the water, as you can see from the nice colorful lobster buoys that are placed there to make the waters look more colorful for the tourists. Well, not really. And ahead of us there is a Hinckley Pilot 35 headed out. We're going to go out past Little Cranberry and head east a little bit, see what conditions are like out there. Now, we're being passed right now by a Hinckley Sou'wester 43. Nice little boat. Hinckley's probably raciest build. Quite a pretty little boat with Mount Desert Island in the background. Yeah, a few more cottages here on the north side of Little Cranberry. And 2 Hinckleys ahead of us. The nearer one is that Sou'wester 43 that passed us. And the more distant one is a Hinkley Pilot 35. And there's another sail coming into view just around the tip of Little Cranberry. Don't know what that is. It's too far away to see. Scudic Peninsula is reasonably clear today. Tiniest bit hazy, but not bad. And the white pylon over there is East Bunker Ledge with Mount Desert Island in the background. Okay, we're looking east now. We're east of the Cranberry Islands. In the distance there's a sailboat, and if you look just to the left of that sailboat you can see Petite Minan Lighthouse. Well, you probably can't, but I can see it with my binoculars. It's about 15 miles east of here. So it's pretty clear down east today. Not very often you can see Petite Minan from here. And the other boat that was ahead of us, the Pilot, has tacked around and is headed back. And the Southwester 43 is already back in the lee of Little Cranberry behind us. It's a nice view of Mount Desert Island from out here, east of the Cranberry Islands. Very pretty. And looking toward Frenchman Bay and the Scudic Peninsula about 6 miles east. And there's not much lobster gear out here, but what there is all toggled, which means that each trap has 2 buoys with a line connecting them, and you do not want to run between the 2 buoys. Like there's 2 right here, a yellow one, and then to the right of it a white buoy. The white buoy is the toggle buoy, and there's a line from the toggle buoy to the yellow buoy. We're far enough out that we can see the life-saving station on the southern tip of Little Cranberry Island. And there's Baker Island. And as I've said before, there is a lighthouse in the middle of Baker Island, but the trees have grown up to the point where you can't see it at all anymore, except from a couple of angles. And this is not one of them. Another view looking aft at the hills of Mount Desert Island. We're about 4.5–5 miles south of MDI right here. There's Mount Desert Island again. We've tacked around, and if you look closely you see the headland on the right hand side of the view. Just to the left of that, there's a light colored line. That's Sand Beach. And the hills of Mount Desert Island. Another sailboat headed in. Well, we're beating back in, just about to go west of Little Cranberry there. Sutton Island on the other side. And the man-set shore of Mount Desert Island ahead there on the starboard bow, and Great Cranberry to port. Hopefully the wind will stay favorable so we don't have to tack several times. Oh, we're sailing west on the south side of Sutton Island. We're in the lobster gear. The problem is we're pretty nearly straight into the sun, and it's invisible until you get really close. And I don't want to fall off very much because there are some rocks and everything over here towards Sutton. So I do not want to get any closer for a while. See the lobster gear behind us that we sailed through. It was threading the needle back there because you couldn't see it till you were 50 feet from it. We're continuing to make 4.7 to 5.5 knots. but we're pinched up about as high as I can go. If I fell off a little, we'd go considerably faster. Oh, we just sailed past the gravel bar at the west end of Sutton Island. There's Bear Island with its lighthouse, and Northeast Harbor over there with lots of visiting sailboats in it. A few weeks ago, when we looked over there from about here, there would be like 3 or 4 sailboats. So the season is getting going. Mount Desert Island is kind of the easternmost destination for a lot of people that cruise the coast of Maine in the summer. They come up here, stay in Northeast Harbor or Southwest Harbor, and then head back west. A few continue east to down East Maine to destinations like Roke Island, and a few really bold souls might go on to Eastport or even into the Bay of Fundy and Grand Minan. There's Southwest Harbor, pretty much a little bit north of west of us, right there. But we're going to head up here and go on the north side of Greening Island, which is the island straight ahead. And we're going to furl up the jib there and motor in from there. We're going to the mooring tonight, and the motor run will give us some warm water. And we're also going to make a pass by a small sailboat that summers here. And I'll show it to you when we get there. Okay, we just started the engine and rolled up to Genoa while we were in the lee of Greening Island there. And we're going to motor over and have a look at a small sailboat that summers here every year. They just showed up in the last week. So we'll be over there in a couple minutes and have a look. Our destination for tonight is Southwest Harbor, which is right up there. You have to go between Clark Point on the right and Greening Island on the left. And that is straight south. Looking the other way is Somme Sound. Well, this is the sailing vessel Rebecca. It spends the summer here every year, and it's quite a sight when it's under sail. It's a nice little, I believe, aluminum ketch. It's 140 feet on the water line. Very, very, very pretty boat, as you can see. We'll just go in front of her so you can see how beamy she is. This boat definitely gives Sequester a run for its money when it's out sailing. Varnish on that boat. I think they must buy it by the 55-gallon drum. And here's the bow on shot. There you go. Sailing vessel Rebecca. So we're going to motor back over to Southwest Harbor, right over there, and pick up our mooring. Yeah, we're back in Southwest Harbor here on the mooring. We'll go into the marina tomorrow morning. And here's the view as we look around. Quite a pretty place. This is sitting in the cockpit about 5:45 p.m. Just looking at the harbor as we enjoy the early evening aboard. Very pleasant place to sit, especially today because the boat is facing more or less west. And back here under the Dodger, I'm both out of the direct sun and out of the wind. So I have a pleasant evening. There's one of our neighbors. This little Sabre 36 fast trawler comes up here every year. And they spend the summer aboard. And they've been doing it for years. They're very nice folks. And the northeast of our mooring, looking toward the Coast Guard, the brick building over there, is mostly the lobster boat mooring area. And as we come up, it starts getting mixed with some pleasure boats. And then gradually transforms to all pleasure boats. So that area over there is Southwest Harbor. It's the Clark Point area of Southwest Harbor, if you know Southwest Harbor. And the land beyond the moored boats there is Greening Island. And in the distance, behind the green Sabre 36, is Sutton Island. And then further out, you can see Little Cranberry and then Great Cranberry to the right. The big difference between sitting here in the evening and being in our slip at the marina is that it's much more private and peaceful here. There's nobody walking by the boat, unless of course they can walk on water, and I don't know any people like that. So we don't get too many people coming by. It's very quiet, peaceful, and once the sun sets, it becomes very peaceful out here. And it's just a nice place to spend the evening. So, I guess that ends this little sailing video today, where we sailed east out of Southwest Harbor, past the Cranberry Island, several miles, and out into the open ocean, which was very, very pleasant today. And past most of the lobster gear until we could, because it was a clear day, actually see Petite Minan Lighthouse with the binoculars, of course. It is 16 miles east. So, hope you enjoyed this little sailing adventure today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, well, why don't you subscribe to my channel to get all sorts of content about Mount Desert Island, old fiberglass sailboats, and sailing in the great harbor of Mount Desert Island, Maine. And hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be making a few more interesting trips. I'm hoping to head out and get a good close look at the lighthouse on the south end of Great Duck Island, for example. Have to wait until we get the right wind for that. Ideally, we need a day where the wind is north in the morning and south in the afternoon to get out there and back without having to beat one way. And that's what I'm waiting for, and hopefully it'll happen. The only issue is normally in the morning, there's very, very little wind here. Anyway, that's the kind of thing that I think you can look forward to, and from the sailing point of view. And I'll do lots of other content about Mount Desert Island. Thanks for watching.